Arlo adjusted his helmet as the hot winds of the desert planet blew across the golden sands. He wiped the sweat from his brow and looked up at the massive pyramid rising from the dunes. It was taller than any structure humans had built on Earth. Its sides were perfectly smooth, and strange glowing lines ran along the edges, pulsing faintly. For years, explorers had searched for this pyramid, but most had turned back after claiming it was too dangerous. Arlo felt a mix of excitement and fear. This could be the greatest discovery of his career. His small team gathered around him. Myra, a geologist with sharp eyes, was examining the sand near the base of the pyramid. Tarek, a tech specialist, adjusted a scanner that beeped softly in his hands. Lila, the medic, checked the supplies in her backpack, making sure everything was ready. Arlo looked at them and smiled. They were not only skilled, but brave. This mission was dangerous, and he trusted them to face whatever they might find. "Are we ready?" Arlo asked. Myra nodded. "Ready. I've never seen anything like this. The pyramid seems older than anything in our records." Tarek looked up from his scanner. "The energy readings are unusual. There is something moving beneath the pyramid, but I can't tell what it is." Arlo felt a shiver run down his spine. Something moving beneath the pyramid could mean anything. It could be a natural underground formation, or something far stranger. He made a decision. "We go down." Carefully. The entrance to the pyramid was hidden on the northern side. It looked like a small stone door, almost invisible against the massive wall. Arlo pushed it open with a loud grind of metal. A dark tunnel appeared. The air was cooler inside, and the faint hum of the pyramid's energy filled their ears. The team switched on their lights, revealing walls covered with ancient carvings. Symbols of unknown creatures, people, and machines covered every inch. Some glowed faintly, as if alive. "Look at this," Myra whispered. "This civilization was advanced. Much more than we imagined." Arlo walked slowly, studying the carvings. They may have built the pyramid not for people, but for something else. Something important. The tunnel twisted and turned, descending deeper into the heart of the pyramid. Every step they took echoed in the silence, as if the building itself was alive. Strange vibrations ran through the floor, making the team pause. Tarek checked his scanner. "The readings are increasing. Whatever is down here is close." They reached a wide chamber. The walls were taller than a skyscraper, and the ceiling was lost in shadow. In the center of the room, a massive stone platform rose from the ground. Strange carvings ran along its sides, glowing faintly in blue and gold. Arlo approached slowly, feeling an unusual pull from the platform. "Does anyone else feel that?" Lila asked. "It's like the air is alive." Arlo nodded. "Yes. There is power here, something strong. We need to be careful. This may be a warning or a trap." He stepped closer and noticed a small indentation on the platform. It looked like a keyhole, but unlike any key he had ever seen. He crouched to examine it, and his hand brushed against the smooth surface. Suddenly, the ground shook violently. The team stumbled but held their ground. A low rumble filled the chamber, and a bright light flashed from the carvings on the walls. "What did you do?" Myra shouted, shielding her eyes from the light. "I just touched it," Arlo said, confused. "I don't think I." Before he could finish, the platform shifted. A section of the floor moved aside, revealing a dark pit. From the pit, a cold wind rose, carrying whispers that seemed to echo in their minds. The shadows in the chamber grew longer and darker. The team stepped back, fear rising in their hearts. Tarek's scanner went wild. "There is something moving down there. Something huge." Arlo took a deep breath. "We came here to explore, and now we've found it. Let's see what's down there." Carefully, they descended into the pit, one by one. The walls were smooth and slippery, forcing them to grip the edges for balance. The air grew colder, and the whispers became louder. Lila held her flashlight tightly, shining it into the darkness. At the bottom, the chamber opened into an enormous hall. The ceiling was lost in shadows, and strange lights floated in the air, moving like glowing fireflies. In the center of the hall stood rows of figures. They looked like skeletons, but not ordinary ones. They were taller than humans, with metallic parts attached to their bones. Their eyes glowed faintly red, and they stood perfectly still, as if waiting. The team froze, staring at the army before them. Are they alive? Myra whispered. Arlo shook his head slowly. I don't know. But they are not just bones. They are something else. They were made for a purpose. A deep hum filled the hall. The skeletons began to move, slowly at first, then with more precision. They did not attack. Instead, they formed ranks, standing like soldiers ready for orders. The team felt a mixture of fear and awe. These were not just guardians. They were an army, waiting for someone to command them. Arlo stepped forward, holding his hands up. We mean no harm. We are explorers. We came to learn about your civilization. The skeletons paused. One stepped forward, its red eyes locking onto Arlo. It tilted its head, as if studying him. The team held their breath. For a moment, it seemed the skeletons might attack. Then, slowly, they lowered their arms. The hum faded. Arlo exhaled. They are testing us. They can sense our intentions. Myra looked around in wonder. An army created to protect knowledge. Not to destroy. That's incredible. Arlo nodded. Yes. And now, we must prove we are worthy of learning their secrets. This is only the beginning. As they explored the hall, the whispers faded, leaving only the sound of their footsteps. Deep beneath the pyramid, the ancient skeleton army stood ready, waiting to see what humans could do. Arlo felt a thrill run through him. Humanity had found something amazing, and the adventure was just beginning. Arlo and his team stood in the enormous hall, staring at the rows of skeletal figures. The glow of their eyes reflected on the polished stone floor. The air felt colder than before, and the faint hum of energy seemed to pulse through their bodies. Every instinct in Arlo told him to be careful, but curiosity pushed him forward. These skeletons are not ordinary, Arlo said, his voice low. They are engineered, and I think they can think in some way. Tarek adjusted his scanner, pointing it at one of the figures. There is energy inside them. Some kind of artificial power. It looks like they are waiting for commands, or maybe testing us. Myra stepped closer to a skeleton. Its bones were smooth, almost metallic, and there were small symbols etched into its chest. They look like soldiers, she said. But why would anyone build an army of skeletons beneath a pyramid? Arlo studied the symbols. I think they were built to protect something very important. Maybe knowledge or treasure. Whatever it is valuable enough to create an army. Suddenly, the skeleton in front of Arlo moved. It lifted its head and took a step forward. Its red eyes glowed brighter. The team froze, unsure of what would happen next. The skeleton did not attack. Instead, it stopped a few feet away and tilted its head as if observing Arlo. They are watching us, Lila whispered. Maybe they can sense our intentions. Arlo nodded slowly. We need to be careful. Any wrong move could make them hostile. The skeleton raised one arm, pointing toward a narrow passage at the side of the hall. Arlo exchanged a glance with his team. It seemed the figure wanted them to follow. Slowly, they moved forward, keeping their hands visible to show they meant no harm. As they walked, the skeletons fell into formation behind them. The sound of bones scraping against stone echoed through the hall. The team felt a strange mix of fear and awe. These were not mindless creatures. They were disciplined and precise. The passage led them deeper into the pyramid. The walls were lined with carvings showing humans and skeleton-like soldiers working together. Some carvings showed battles, others showed the skeletons guarding glowing crystals or strange machines. Arlo studied the images carefully. This civilization used these soldiers to protect their greatest secrets. They trusted humans, or beings like us, to survive. Suddenly, a loud noise shook the tunnel. Rocks fell from the ceiling, and the team stumbled. Arlo's heart raced. "Everyone stay close. Watch your step." The skeletons moved faster, their formation tightening around the team as if shielding them. Arlo realized these figures were not only protectors but guides. They could lead the humans safely through the dangers of the pyramid. After several minutes, they reached a large chamber. The walls glowed with a soft blue light. In the center, a platform held a strange device. It looked like a cube made of crystal, and it pulsed with energy. The skeletons stopped at the edges of the chamber, forming a circle around the platform. Tarek approached the cube cautiously. "This is amazing. The energy readings are off the charts. It's unlike anything we have ever seen." Arlo nodded. "It must be what the skeletons are protecting. This is why the army was created. Whatever this is, it is very powerful." Suddenly, the cube emitted a bright light. The skeletons moved instinctively, forming a protective wall between the humans and the glowing device. The light grew stronger, and shadows danced across the walls. The team shielded their eyes, feeling the energy hum in their bones. Arlo stepped forward carefully. "We are not here to take it. We only want to understand." The skeletons paused, their red eyes flickering. One of them stepped closer to Arlo, then gently touched the cube. The light dimmed slightly, and the hum softened. Arlo realized the army was testing their intentions again. They wanted to see if the humans could approach without greed or fear. Myra looked at Arlo with wide eyes. "They are judging us." Arlo nodded. "Yes. They can sense our hearts. We have to show courage and honesty if we want to learn from them." For a long moment, the team stood in silence. The cube pulsed steadily, and the skeletons watched every move. Arlo felt a strange connection with the army, as if they understood his thoughts. He knew this was a moment of trust. Then, a sudden rumble shook the chamber. Dust fell from the ceiling, and the floor trembled beneath their feet. Arlo's heart pounded. "Something is coming," he shouted. The skeletons immediately moved into formation. They raised their arms and shifted their stance, ready to defend. From the shadows, small robotic drones appeared. They were armed with energy weapons and moved with precision. The humans had no idea where they came from. Tarek quickly raised a scanner. "They are attackers. They want the cube." Arlo took a deep breath. "The skeletons are defending it. Stay close and follow their lead." The first wave of drones attacked, firing energy beams at the skeletons. The army moved with perfect coordination, deflecting the attacks and striking back with force. The humans watched in awe as the skeletons used speed and strategy, not brute strength alone. Myra ducked behind a pillar. "They are incredible. They know exactly what to do." Arlo shouted to her, "Stay calm. Watch their movements and learn." The battle continued, and the humans realized something amazing. The skeleton army was not just powerful, they were smart. They adapted to the attackers, outmaneuvering them at every turn. Arlo felt a surge of pride. Humanity had discovered an ally that could teach them how to face challenges beyond their imagination. After several minutes, the drones were disabled or destroyed. The chamber fell silent again. The skeletons lowered their arms and stood at attention. The cube continued to pulse, undisturbed. The humans exhaled, realizing they had survived the first true test of the pyramid. Arlo looked around at the team. This is just the beginning. These skeletons are not enemies. They are guides and protectors. If we earn their trust, they will help us learn what no human has ever known. Lila nodded, still catching her breath. We are lucky to be here. Few humans could face what we just saw. Arlo studied the skeletons. Luck is part of it, yes. But courage and honesty matter more. We showed them that we are worthy, even if only a little. The real challenge is still ahead. The team gathered near the cube, watching the skeleton army. Each member felt a mix of fear, respect, and excitement. They knew the pyramid held secrets that could change everything humans understood about life, technology, and the universe. Arlo stepped forward and placed his hand on the cube gently. The light pulsed under his touch, and the skeletons remained calm. He smiled, feeling a strange warmth. "We are ready to learn," he said softly. "Show us the way." The army of skeletons slowly moved aside, forming a path deeper into the pyramid. Arlo knew this was their invitation. The journey into the heart of the ancient civilization had begun, and every step would test their courage, intelligence, and humanity. The path through the pyramid twisted and turned, leading Arlo and his team deeper into the ancient structure. The glow from the cube in the last chamber faded behind them, replaced by a soft blue light coming from the walls. The skeleton army moved silently beside and behind them, forming a protective line that seemed both careful and precise. The hum of energy from the pyramid filled the air, vibrating softly under their feet. Every step felt heavy with anticipation. "Where do you think this path leads?" Myra asked quietly. She ran her fingers along the smooth wall, tracing the carvings that told stories of the past. The images showed humans and skeletal soldiers working together, building massive machines and guarding shining crystals. The carvings also depicted battles with strange creatures, some like nothing Arlo had ever seen. "I do not know," Arlo said. "But whatever is ahead must be important. This pyramid is not just a tomb or a building. It is a place of knowledge and power." Lila glanced around nervously. "It feels alive in here. The walls, the air, even the skeletons. I have never felt anything like this." Tarek adjusted his scanner, which beeped softly as it measured the energy levels in the corridor. "The readings are stronger the deeper we go. Whatever this civilization built, it is very powerful. We need to be ready for anything." The path opened into a circular chamber, larger than the last. The ceiling was far above their heads, disappearing into shadows. In the center of the room, a pedestal held a large metallic disc, engraved with glowing symbols. The disc seemed to float slightly above the pedestal, spinning slowly. Its light reflected across the walls, casting strange patterns on the carvings. The skeletons stopped around the edges of the chamber, forming their protective circle again. Arlo stepped forward cautiously. "This must be another test. The pyramid wants to see if we can approach without fear or greed." Myra knelt to examine the symbols on the disc. "These are like the carvings we saw before, but more complex. They seem to tell a story, or maybe instructions." Tarek studied his scanner. "The energy is focused here. This disc may be a key to understanding the pyramid's secrets." Arlo nodded. "We need to figure it out carefully. The skeletons will react to what we do." He reached out his hand slowly. As his fingers touched the disc, it stopped spinning. The glow brightened, and the symbols on the floor lit up, forming a pattern. The skeletons tilted their heads, watching. The team stepped back slightly, feeling a surge of energy pass through the chamber. Suddenly, the symbols on the disc moved like they were alive, rearranging themselves into a simple puzzle. Lines connected shapes and colors, forming a path from one point to another. Arlo realized this was a challenge, a test of intelligence and observation. "This is a puzzle," Arlo said. "We need to solve it correctly, or the pyramid may not let us proceed." Myra studied the shapes. It looks like it wants us to connect the right symbols in order. The colors and shapes match the carvings we saw earlier. Maybe it is a story or a map. Arlo nodded. We need to pay attention to every detail. This civilization was smart. We cannot rush it. The team worked together, pointing out patterns and connections. Lila noticed that some shapes were slightly brighter than others, hinting at the correct path. Tarek used his scanner to measure energy fluctuations, showing which parts of the puzzle reacted to their touch. Slowly, piece by piece, they connected the symbols. The skeletons watched silently, not interfering but not moving away either. Their presence was calming, almost encouraging. Arlo realized that these guardians were teaching them patience and focus. The puzzle was not just a challenge, it was a lesson. After several tense minutes, the last symbol connected. The disc glowed brightly, then shot a beam of light to the ceiling. The walls of the chamber shifted, revealing a hidden passage that had been sealed for centuries. Dust fell from the ceiling as the air rushed into the new corridor. Arlo smiled, feeling a sense of triumph. We did it. The pyramid accepted our effort. We are allowed to continue. Myra looked at the skeletons. They are not just soldiers. They are teachers. They test and guide those who are brave enough to try. The team stepped carefully into the new passage. The air was cooler here, and the blue light from the walls grew brighter. Strange symbols covered the floor, glowing faintly as they walked over them. The hum of energy was stronger, vibrating through their bodies and making their steps feel lighter and faster. Suddenly, the passage opened into a massive hall filled with columns. Each column was carved with intricate patterns and symbols that seemed to move when the team looked directly at them. The skeleton army spread out across the hall, forming a protective barrier at the entrance. Arlo took a deep breath. This is incredible. The architecture alone is amazing, but the energy in this place, it is beyond anything humans have ever seen. Tarek scanned the room. The energy readings are off the charts. Whatever is in this chamber, it is powerful. We must be cautious. As they walked deeper into the hall, they noticed a series of doors along the walls. Each door was engraved with symbols and images. One showed humans and skeletons building machines. Another showed battles with strange creatures. The final door depicted a glowing crystal surrounded by skeletons, with humans standing nearby. This must be the ultimate goal of the pyramid, Arlo said. The crystal, or whatever is behind that door, is what the army was protecting all along. Myra touched one of the doors. The symbols here are like instructions, not just pictures. They may tell us how to proceed without triggering danger. Arlo nodded. We have learned from the pyramid so far. Patience, observation, teamwork. Let us apply the same here. Step carefully and follow the guidance of the skeletons. They moved slowly, following the patterns on the walls and the guidance of the skeletal army. The energy in the hall grew stronger, humming like a living heartbeat. The team felt a connection to the ancient civilization, as if the pyramid itself was alive and aware of their presence. Suddenly, a low vibration shook the floor. The team stopped, sensing movement in the shadows. From the dark corners of the hall, strange figures emerged. They were small, fast, and humanoid, but their bodies shimmered with energy. The team realized these were guardians of another kind, sent to test intruders. Arlo signaled the team to stay calm. The skeletons will protect us. Observe their movements and learn. The skeleton army immediately took positions, forming a protective barrier between the team and the shimmering figures. They moved with precision, blocking attacks and guiding the intruders away from the humans. The team watched in awe, realizing that this was not a battle to fight with weapons, but a lesson in strategy and courage. As the shimmering figures retreated, the skeletons lowered their arms and stood at attention. The hall fell silent once again, the energy pulsing softly through the columns. Arlo felt a deep respect for the army. They were not just guardians, they were teachers and guides, showing humans the value of courage, intelligence, and patience. Myra smiled. We are learning so much from them. Not just about the pyramid, but about ourselves. Arlo nodded. Yes. Humanity can rise to challenges far greater than we imagined. If we continue with respect and courage, we may uncover secrets that could change everything. The team continued down the hall, guided by the glowing symbols and the skeletal army. They knew that the true test of the pyramid was still ahead. The crystal and the secrets it protected awaited them, but they also understood that every step was part of the lesson. Courage, intelligence, patience, and respect would determine their success. Deep beneath the desert sands, the ancient civilization watched through the guardians it had created. The human explorers were proving themselves worthy. The pyramid had accepted them, and the journey into its heart was only beginning. The air inside the pyramid grew warmer as Arlo and his team followed the glowing symbols down the long hallway. Each step seemed to pull them deeper into the heart of the ancient structure. The skeleton army moved silently, their red eyes glowing softly, watching the humans as if ensuring every step was safe. The team felt a strange sense of comfort in their presence, though the vastness of the pyramid was intimidating. Suddenly, Tarek's scanner beeped loudly. He frowned, checking the readings. Energy spikes? Something outside the pyramid is moving. And it is not natural. Arlo's heart raced. Outside. Could it be another expedition team? Tarek nodded. Yes. And they are armed. Heavy weapons, energy disruptors, the works. They are approaching fast. If they reach the pyramid, they could destroy what we are trying to protect. Myra's eyes widened. We cannot let them get inside. The pyramid's secrets must remain safe. Lila swallowed nervously. How can we stop them? We do not have weapons strong enough. Arlo looked at the skeleton army. We may not have to. They do. He stepped forward, speaking slowly so the army could understand. Friends, humans are under threat from others who do not respect this place. Will you help us protect the pyramid? The skeletons shifted slightly, their eyes flickering brighter. One stepped forward and lifted its arm, as if answering Arlo's call. The team felt a surge of hope. The army was ready to fight, but it would only defend those worthy of protection. Arlo turned to the team. We need to work with them. Follow their lead and stay close. We cannot face this alone. The sound of engines and heavy footsteps echoed from the desert above. Through the pyramid's hidden entrances, the rival team was approaching. Their energy disruptors glowed ominously, and robotic drones hovered in the air, scanning for movement. The humans outside had no idea what awaited them beneath the sands. The skeleton army moved with precision. They formed ranks at the entrance, their bones clanking softly as they took positions. The humans followed behind, learning quickly from the army's disciplined formation. Arlo felt a surge of pride. Humanity had discovered allies who were not only powerful but also wise and strategic. The first wave of intruders entered the pyramid. Energy beams shot through the air, hitting the walls and floor. Dust and debris fell from the ceiling, but the skeletons remained steady, blocking every attack. They moved like shadows, precise and silent, but strong enough to repel the weapons aimed at them. Arlo watched closely. They are not just fighting. They are protecting and guiding. Notice how they move together, anticipate attacks, and keep us safe. We can learn from this. Myra ducked behind a column. I have never seen anything like this. They are faster than the intruders and smarter than any machine we know. The battle intensified. The intruders sent robotic drones flying toward the humans, but the skeletons intercepted them with perfect timing. They used the architecture of the pyramid to their advantage, pushing the invaders into traps and using the walls to block attacks. Every move was calculated, showing intelligence beyond ordinary machines. Tarek shouted over the noise. The drones are neutralized. The skeletons are incredible. Lila held her breath as one of the intruders tried to rush past the army. A skeleton moved instantly, blocking the path and forcing the intruder back. The humans realized that the army was more than just protection. It was a teacher, showing how courage, intelligence, and strategy could overcome brute force. Arlo stepped forward and shouted to his team. "Stay calm. Watch their movements and follow. This is our chance to learn how humans and the army can work together." The intruders tried to retreat and regroup, but the skeleton army moved faster, cutting off their paths and disabling their weapons with precise strikes. The humans marveled at how the army combined speed, strategy, and coordination. It was as if they were reading the enemy's minds, always one step ahead. After several tense minutes, the intruders realized they could not win. Their drones were destroyed, their weapons were neutralized, and the skeleton army stood strong, unwavering. They retreated back toward the desert, leaving the pyramid untouched. The silence that followed was heavy and powerful. The humans and the skeletons stood together, breathing in the quiet. Arlo looked at the army and felt gratitude mixed with awe. "You protected us. You protected the pyramid. Thank you. We could not have done this alone." The skeletons lowered their arms, standing at attention. Their red eyes dimmed slightly, showing that the threat had passed. The team realized that the army did not need praise or reward. Their purpose was protection, strategy, and guidance. Myra turned to Arlo. "We have learned so much already. Not just about the pyramid, but about courage, teamwork, and intelligence. The skeletons are teaching us without words." Arlo nodded. "Yes. This is the lesson of the pyramid. Humanity can rise to challenges far greater than we imagine, especially when we respect and work with allies." Tarek checked his scanner again. The energy readings are returning to normal. The intruders are gone, and the pyramid is safe. But I think this is only the beginning. There may be more challenges ahead. Lila smiled, though she was still catching her breath. "We survived. And we learned that courage and intelligence can overcome any danger. Humanity is stronger than we thought." Arlo looked at the skeleton army, standing tall and silent. "This pyramid was built to test, protect, and teach. We are lucky to be here. The journey is far from over, but now we know we are not alone. We have allies who are stronger and wiser than anything we imagined." The team moved deeper into the pyramid, following the guidance of the skeletal army. Every step brought new carvings, symbols, and glowing lights. The air vibrated with energy, reminding them that the heart of the pyramid held secrets that could change humanity forever. As they walked, Arlo felt a deep sense of purpose. The pyramid had chosen them to learn, to protect, and to prove that humans could rise to any challenge. The skeleton army was their teacher, protector, and guide. Together, they would face whatever lay ahead, deep in the desert sands, beneath the golden pyramid. The hallways of the pyramid grew narrower as Arlo and his team moved forward. The glow from the walls was softer here, and the air smelled faintly of stone and minerals. The skeleton army walked beside them, silent and watchful. Every step felt like a step deeper into history, into a place humans had never reached before. "We are getting closer to the heart of the pyramid," Arlo said quietly. "The energy readings are stronger. We must stay focused and calm." Myra ran her fingers along the carvings on the walls. "These symbols are different from the others. They show humans and skeletons working together. Not just guarding, but building, learning, and protecting something important." Lila glanced at the army. "I think they are trying to teach us more than just defense. They want us to understand their ways, to work with them, not just follow them blindly." Tarek adjusted his scanner. "The energy patterns are clear. The pyramid responds to the actions of the humans and the skeletons. The more we understand and cooperate, the more it will reveal." Arlo nodded. "Then we need to earn their trust." We need to show courage and intelligence, and we must work together. The team followed a long, winding corridor that opened into a vast chamber. Pillars carved with intricate patterns filled the space, and in the center of the room was a raised platform. On it lay a strange device, shaped like a cube with transparent sides. Inside, glowing threads of energy twisted and moved, creating a constantly changing pattern. The skeleton army formed a circle around the platform, their red eyes glowing softly. One of them stepped forward and raised an arm toward Arlo. It was a signal. The humans realized the army was inviting them to interact with the device, but carefully. "This is another test," Arlo said. "We must approach it slowly and show that we respect the pyramid." Myra examined the cube. "It looks like a puzzle, like the last one. But this one is more complex. The energy threads are moving and changing. We need to be careful and patient." Arlo stepped closer and placed his hand gently on the cube. The threads responded to his touch, stopping their movement for a moment. The skeletons tilted their heads, observing closely. Arlo realized that they were testing not just his intelligence, but his intentions. The team worked together. Myra suggested patterns based on the carvings they had seen. Tarek used his scanner to monitor energy fluctuations, showing which threads responded best. Lila noticed subtle changes in the cube's glow that indicated the correct connections. Piece by piece, they began to solve the puzzle. The skeletons remained still, silent, but their presence was reassuring. They guided the humans without words, showing that patience, observation, and cooperation were key. Arlo felt a deep respect for the army. These beings were more than protectors, they were teachers and allies. After careful work, the final connection was made. The threads of energy inside the cube formed a stable pattern and pulsed brightly. The platform rose slightly, revealing a hidden passage below it. The skeletons stepped aside, signaling that the humans could continue. Arlo looked at his team. "We did it. The pyramid accepted our effort. We are worthy to go deeper." Myra smiled. "It is amazing. They are not just guardians. They are guiding us, teaching us to think, to act wisely, and to work as one." Lila nodded. "I feel like we are learning more about ourselves than about the pyramid. Courage, patience, teamwork, these are lessons the skeletons are showing us." Tarek checked his scanner again. "The energy readings are steady. Whatever lies ahead is stable now. The pyramid trusts us to continue." The team stepped carefully into the new passage. The air was cooler here, and the walls glowed with soft blue light. Strange symbols lined the floor, guiding their steps. The skeleton army moved beside them, silent and watchful, ensuring no danger could reach them unexpectedly. After a short walk, they arrived at a chamber filled with stone platforms and glowing orbs. The orbs hovered in the air, connected by thin streams of light. The symbols on the walls suggested a test of balance and coordination. The humans realized that the orbs were part of a challenge. They needed to activate them in a specific order, and the skeletons were there to guide them. Arlo studied the pattern. "We must observe first. Watch how the streams of light move, how the orbs respond. This is a lesson in focus and cooperation." Myra nodded and pointed out the sequence. "The orbs react to energy, just like the cube. If we move too quickly or touch the wrong one, it may reset." The team moved carefully. Arlo touched the first orb, feeling a surge of energy. Myra followed with the next, then Tarek and Lila. Each step required attention and teamwork. The skeletons observed closely, moving slightly to adjust the flow of light if needed. Slowly, the humans completed the sequence. The orbs glowed brightly, then shot streams of light toward the ceiling, forming a staircase of energy. The skeletons stepped aside, revealing the path upward. Arlo felt a sense of pride and awe. Humanity had learned and adapted, and the pyramid had recognized their effort. "This is incredible," Lila whispered. We are learning to work with them, to understand their guidance. It is more than just survival. It is cooperation. Myra smiled. We are starting to bond with the army. They trust us, and we are learning from them. This is a connection beyond words. Arlo nodded. Yes. Humans and the skeleton army can work together. Courage, intelligence, and respect will guide us through the pyramid. The journey is far from over, but now we have allies we can trust completely. The team began ascending the staircase of energy. The pyramid seemed to respond to their movements, pulsing softly with each step. The skeleton army moved beside them, silent and protective, ensuring no danger could reach them. As they reached the top, a new chamber opened before them. It was larger than any they had seen, filled with glowing crystals and energy threads that connected across the ceiling and walls. The cube and orbs were smaller parts of this greater system. The humans realized that the pyramid's heart was near, and the lessons they had learned would guide them to it. Arlo looked at the team and the skeleton army. We have proven our courage, intelligence, and cooperation. We are ready for the final challenges. Whatever lies ahead, we face it together. The skeleton stepped forward, forming a protective line at the entrance of the chamber. Their red eyes glowed brightly, showing readiness and alertness. The team felt a surge of confidence. They were not alone. With the guidance and protection of the skeleton army, they could face whatever the pyramid held in its depths. Deep within the desert sands, the pyramid awaited their next move. The lessons of courage, intelligence, patience, and cooperation had been learned, and the humans were ready to prove themselves further. The bond between them and the skeleton army had grown stronger, and together they would face the mysteries that still lay ahead. The chamber ahead was immense, filled with glowing crystals that pulsed like hearts. The energy in the air was strong, and the hum from the pyramid filled every corner. Arlo and his team felt the power beneath their feet, a constant reminder of why the skeleton army had been created. They were not just guardians, but protectors of knowledge and power beyond human understanding. Suddenly, Tarek's scanner beeped furiously. They're here. The intruders have returned, and they are stronger this time. More drones, more weapons, and they are moving quickly. Arlo's heart pounded. Everyone stay close to the army. We face them together. The skeleton army formed their ranks immediately. Their red eyes glowed brighter, casting light across the chamber. They did not hesitate. They had trained, prepared, and waited for this moment. The humans felt a surge of confidence seeing the discipline and strength of their allies. From the shadows of the pyramid, the intruders advanced. Their energy disruptors glowed, and robotic drones hovered in formation, scanning for targets. They did not expect to face the skeleton army, and they were unprepared for the coordination they encountered. Arlo shouted to his team, "Remember what we learned. Watch, move carefully, and follow the army's lead." The first wave of drones shot toward the humans and skeletons. The army moved as one, intercepting the attackers with precision. Bones clashed and metallic parts struck drones, sending them spinning into the air. The humans followed closely, observing every movement, learning strategy, and understanding the army's tactics. Myra ducked behind a pillar. They are amazing. Look at how they move, how they fight together. We can follow their lead and survive. Lila nodded. It is not just about strength. They are teaching us courage and strategy at the same time. The intruders tried to separate the humans from the army, targeting them with beams and projectiles. But the skeletons adjusted instantly, shielding the humans and countering attacks with sharp precision. Every move was deliberate, showing intelligence far beyond any machine the humans had seen. Arlo took a deep breath and shouted instructions. We stay together. Move with them, not ahead or behind. Watch their patterns and learn. Use your wits, not just speed. The team began to coordinate with the army. Myra pointed out weak spots in the drones, and the skeleton struck them exactly where she indicated. Tarek used his scanner to predict the intruders' attacks, and the army adapted instantly. Lila helped guide injured humans to safety while the skeletons blocked the enemy. The battle raged on, energy beams cutting across the chamber, sparks flying as drones were destroyed or disabled. The skeleton army moved like shadows, powerful and precise. The humans realized that courage, intelligence, and teamwork could overcome any challenge, even when faced with superior technology. Arlo watched a skeleton strike down a drone with perfect timing. He realized that humans had never faced anything like this before. We are learning from them. Every move teaches us something. Adapt, observe, and act carefully. The intruders regrouped and sent a second wave of drones, faster and more aggressive. Arlo's team tightened their formation with the army. The skeletons anticipated the attacks, intercepting drones before they could reach the humans. The humans followed closely, moving as one with their protectors. Myra shouted, pointing at a group of intruders attempting to flank them. They are trying to surround us. Arlo nodded. We cannot let them. Follow the army. Keep close and watch for openings. The skeletons split briefly, blocking the flanking attackers while others engaged the main wave. Their movements were flawless, creating openings for the humans to act. Tarek disabled several drones using the environment, pushing crates and activating mechanisms the skeletons had guided them toward. The intruders became desperate, realizing their weapons were ineffective against the army. Their drones fell one by one, and their energy disruptors failed against the disciplined defense. The humans gained confidence, understanding that strategy, observation, and courage were stronger than brute force alone. Arlo noticed a central group of intruders attempting to reach the glowing crystals in the chamber. We cannot let them touch the crystals. Protect them at all costs. The skeletons formed a protective barrier around the crystals. They moved quickly, intercepting the intruders before they could get close. The humans joined in, using their knowledge of the pyramid's environment and the guidance of the army to block every advance. Lila directed Myra and Tarek to hold the entrances. We can help the skeletons by watching the sides. They cannot cover everything at once. The team acted as one with the army, learning coordination, strategy, and trust. The intruders were pushed back repeatedly, their attacks failing against the combined intelligence and courage of humans and skeletons. Finally, the intruders realized defeat was certain. Their drones were destroyed, their weapons useless, and the skeleton army stood strong and unyielding. They retreated, leaving the chamber in silence. The humans breathed heavily, exhausted but triumphant. Arlo looked at the army, standing tall and silent. We did it. Together, we defended the pyramid. You protected the crystals, the knowledge, and us. Thank you for trusting us. The skeletons lowered their arms, their red eyes dimming slightly. They had completed their duty and shown the humans the value of courage, intelligence, and cooperation. Arlo felt a deep respect for the ancient guardians. Myra smiled. We have learned so much. Not just about the pyramid, but about ourselves. Courage, patience, strategy, and teamwork, these are lessons we will never forget. Tarek nodded. We survived against superior technology because we worked together. The skeletons showed us how to be smart, careful, and brave. Lila added softly, we are ready for whatever comes next. The pyramid has accepted us, and we have proven ourselves. Arlo looked around the chamber, at the glowing crystals and the skeleton army. This is the heart of the pyramid. We have defended it, and we have learned its lessons. Humanity can rise to challenges far greater than we imagined. Together with allies like these, we can face anything. The team moved toward the center of the chamber, feeling the energy of the crystals surround them. The skeleton army stepped aside, allowing the humans to approach. The crystals pulsed softly, a sign that the pyramid recognized their courage and intelligence. Arlo reached out and touched one of the crystals. A surge of light and energy passed through him, and he felt knowledge flow into his mind. He saw visions of the ancient civilization, their inventions, their struggles, and their wisdom. The humans understood that the pyramid had not only tested them but had prepared them to carry the knowledge forward. Myra, Tarek, and Lila approached the crystals, each feeling the same surge of understanding. They had survived the battle, earned the trust of the skeleton army, and learned lessons that could change humanity forever. The skeletons watched silently, their purpose fulfilled. They had protected, guided, and taught. Now, they allowed the humans to carry the pyramid's secrets beyond its walls. Arlo turned to the team. We have succeeded, but our journey is not over. Humanity has proven itself worthy here. We will take this knowledge and use it to grow, to explore, and to protect. We are stronger than we imagined. The team stood together, looking at the glowing crystals, the silent skeleton army, and the vast pyramid that had tested them. They knew that the lessons of courage, intelligence, and cooperation would guide them for the rest of their lives. The battle had ended, and silence settled over the pyramid. The glowing crystals in the chamber pulsed gently, filling the air with warmth and light. Arlo and his team stood together, feeling the power of the place around them. The skeleton army remained at attention, their red eyes dimmed, but their presence was still commanding. They had completed their duty of protection, and now the humans were ready to learn the pyramid's deepest secrets. Arlo stepped forward and placed his hands on one of the larger crystals. The light flowed through him, filling his mind with visions. He saw the history of the civilization that had built the pyramid, their intelligence, their struggles, and their wisdom. They had created the skeleton army not only to defend their knowledge but also to guide those who were worthy. Myra joined him, touching another crystal. She felt a surge of understanding as images of inventions, energy sources, and machines filled her mind. She realized that this civilization had mastered technology far beyond anything humans had achieved. The knowledge here could change the future of humanity. Tarek approached the central crystal. The energy surged through him, revealing maps, star charts, and diagrams of devices that could harness power safely and efficiently. He understood that the pyramid was more than a building, it was a library, a training ground, and a test all in one. The civilization had wanted their knowledge to survive, but only in the hands of those capable of wisdom and courage. Lila placed her hand on a smaller crystal and felt the calm energy flow through her. She saw the humans and skeletons working together in the visions, building and protecting, learning and teaching. She understood that this bond was the true lesson of the pyramid, that courage, intelligence, and cooperation could achieve what force alone could not. Arlo turned to the team. We have passed every test, faced danger, and earned their trust. The pyramid has revealed its secrets to us. We are not just survivors. We are guardians of knowledge now. Myra looked at the skeleton army. We could not have done this without them. They taught us patience, strategy, and courage. They are more than protectors. They are teachers. The skeletons remained silent, their posture proud but calm. Arlo realized that their work was complete. They had fulfilled their purpose by guiding the humans, testing their worth, and showing them the way. The humans had proven themselves, and the pyramid accepted them as rightful heirs of its knowledge. Suddenly, a soft vibration ran through the chamber. The energy threads connecting the crystals glowed brighter. A hidden passage opened, revealing a spiral staircase leading upward. The skeleton army stepped aside, indicating that the humans could continue. This must lead to the surface, Arlo said. Or perhaps to the very heart of the pyramid where the final knowledge is kept. Myra smiled. Whatever it is, we are ready. We have learned to work together, to face challenges, and to respect the power here. The team ascended the staircase carefully. The walls glowed softly, pulsing with energy as if welcoming them. The skeleton army followed silently, guiding without words, ensuring every step was safe. The humans felt a deep connection to their protectors, understanding that courage and cooperation had earned them this path. At the top, the staircase opened onto a chamber filled with light. The walls were carved with scenes of the ancient civilization, humans and skeletons working together, discovering stars, building machines, and protecting knowledge. In the center of the chamber floated a massive crystal, radiating light in every direction. Arlo approached it, feeling the energy surge through him. He realized that this crystal was the core of the pyramid, the ultimate source of knowledge and power. It contained the wisdom of a civilization that had understood the universe in ways humans were only beginning to comprehend. He turned to his team. "This is what we came for. This is what the skeleton army protected. We are the first humans to see this, and we must honor it." Myra stepped forward, placing her hands near the crystal. The light responded to her touch, revealing more visions, advanced machines, sustainable energy systems, star maps, and designs for peaceful exploration. She felt hope and excitement. Humanity could learn from this civilization and grow in ways never imagined before. Tarek studied the crystal, feeling the energy and the knowledge within. He realized that the pyramid was designed not just to give information but to teach responsibility. Whoever used this knowledge had to act wisely and with courage. He nodded to the team. "This is more than technology. It is guidance for the future." Lila smiled as she reached the crystal. The energy flowed into her, showing the importance of patience, understanding, and cooperation. She realized that the pyramid's greatest lesson was not just knowledge, but wisdom, how to act with courage, intelligence, and respect for life. Arlo stepped back and looked at the skeleton army. "You protected this place, guided us, and taught us everything we needed to know. We are grateful. Humanity will carry these lessons forward." The skeletons stood silently, their duty complete. Slowly, they began to move back toward the shadows, disappearing into the depths of the pyramid. Their red eyes dimmed one by one, leaving only the soft glow of the crystals behind. Arlo understood that they would remain there, watching and waiting for the next worthy explorers to arrive. The team stood together, taking in the light, the energy, and the knowledge that surrounded them. They had faced danger, solved puzzles, and earned the trust of an ancient army. They had learned that courage, intelligence, and cooperation could achieve what force alone never could. Arlo turned to his team. "We have done something incredible. The pyramid's secrets are safe, and we have proven that humanity can rise to challenges far beyond anything we imagined. We will take this knowledge back and use it wisely." Myra nodded. "We have learned to respect what came before us and to protect what matters most. This is the start of something greater for humanity." Tarek added, "We have seen the power of intelligence, courage, and teamwork. Together, humans can overcome any obstacle." Lila smiled. "And we have learned that we are not alone. Allies can be found in the most unexpected places, even in the form of skeletons who teach and protect." Arlo looked one last time at the glowing crystal. "The pyramid has given us a gift. Knowledge, wisdom, and the reminder that humanity can be brave, intelligent, and compassionate. We must honor it." As the team made their way back to the surface, the energy of the pyramid seemed to follow them, guiding their steps. They emerged into the desert sunlight, the golden sands stretching endlessly around them. The pyramid stood tall, silent, and proud, its secrets safe and its lessons learned. Arlo turned to his team. "We have done more than explore. We have learned, grown, and proven ourselves. Humanity has a future filled with courage, knowledge, and the potential to rise above any challenge." Myra smiled. "And we will carry this with us, always. The skeleton army showed us that strength is not just power, but intelligence, courage, and teamwork." Tarek nodded. "The pyramid is more than a place. It is a lesson for all who are willing to learn." Lila looked at the horizon, feeling hope and determination. "We have seen what humans can do when we are brave and work together. The future is ours to shape." Arlo raised his hand toward the pyramid. We will honor what we have learned. Humanity is ready. We are capable. And together, we can face any challenge. The desert wind blew gently, carrying the whispers of the past. The pyramid stood tall, silent, and powerful. The humans had risen to the challenge, and the legacy of courage, intelligence, and cooperation would continue, guiding future generations. The skeleton army remained in the shadows, their duty complete, their lessons passed on. Humanity had proven itself worthy, and the secrets of the pyramid were safe in the hands of those who could understand and respect them. The journey had ended, but the story of courage, wisdom, and human potential would live on forever.